Hello and welcome to Southborough District Wheelers Friday Frenzy. I hope you've all had a good Christmas break and a good new year, and we're back. This is round 6 of a 10 round series, not 10 weeks, over 10 weeks, because we had a little break over Christmas and New Year. We've got the race starting in just over 2 minutes, and tonight it's on the Wollongimba Frant Circuit. In case you're wondering what that all means, Wollongimba. It's a race that takes place every year. It's one of the oldest established national level races in the UK, and I know it very well because it's put on by my club, Dulwich Paragon. It's been done every year since 1960. It's been won by the most famous name is on the winners list is of course Sir Bradley Wiggins, who won it in 2001, I believe, and also very recently Alexander Richardson, who rides now for Alpecin Phoenix. Usually tracks a very, very high quality field of the top trade teams in the UK, like Condor Rafa, and quite a few of the other top teams that are sponsored by some of the sort of elite riders in the UK, not quite at the European pro level. So it's a great race. It's always a hard race. In the real race, they usually do about 7 of these circuits. Tonight, it's just one circuit of 20 kilometers. You saw the profile there. It's got a lovely uphill finish into Frant, which is in, I'm not sure, it's in Sussex, I think, Frant. This route is on the Sussex-Kent border, but mainly in Sussex in an area called the Weald. As you see all the green there, it's a beautiful area of the world to ride in. I often go down there myself from South London, where I'm based. So it's a great place to ride. In fact, I was riding here the other week. And we've got a very high quality field for you tonight. I saw John Beams, and we'll see John later. He's on Zoom cam, so we'll be able to see him suffering later on. Wout Hartveld is in there, who is the series leader so far after a spectacular performance in the last race just before Christmas, when he got a first and a second in the double header and leapt ahead of John into first place in the series. And Nick Greenhow is also there. You see his name at the bottom of the screen there. He's in third place. So we're now 15 seconds away from the start. I predict it will be a very fast start. We've got nearly 90 riders. We've got 90 riders on the line, although some of those will include me, who obviously won't be riding, and some of the cameras. So here we go. We're off. We're off now, and I'm sure a bunch will form very quickly. It's a big field going away there. This is a very hilly course. You see that initially it's flat and then downhill, but there's some kicks there that are going to separate the field. I mean, even at the start there, everyone in the red there on that page, hitting 7-8 watts per kilo as we kick off in the first. Igor Kops there, also very, very strong rider. I don't think he's done many of these events so far, but he's certainly capable of doing well. Tim Cook there is another very strong rider. He might suffer on some of the climbs, put out a lot of power. Mark Rowbottom, another very good rider. I saw Joris Scheppers there. Yes, Joris Scheppers. He's in the top 10 in the series. And Warren Gardner from that SDW next to Warren's name means he is one of the locals, as it were. He's one of the Southborough District Wheelers who are based around Tunbridge Wells in Sussex, at the top of the Weald. And Warren, I think, is in the top, certainly the top 10. I'll tell you exactly where. Yes, he is actually 10th. So he's top 10. So a few other names to look out for if you see them. Rob Miller, I think, is also riding tonight. He's in the top 10. Didn't see any others, but I'll look for them as we go on, some of the other top 10 riders. And that will give us a pretty good sense of who's going to be picking out who we're looking for in the winners tonight. So as we looking now, Nick Greenhow is taking a quick, it looks like a breakaway, but I don't think Nick really thinks that he's going to be breaking away at this point. He's a very experienced rider. He knows how to score, and now he's easing back a bit now because he just doesn't want to, you don't want to do anything too early. First rule of racing, never do anything you don't have to. Actually, first rule is you're responsible for your own front wheel, but that doesn't count in virtual racing. So the next one applies, which is never do anything you don't have to. So seeing some of the big names up there, Warren Gardner, Nick still up there, Igor Kops, He's pushing away here, making sure that nobody's going into the red. I'm surprised by it, but maybe he just wants to test for that, putting out over 500 watts there. Not quite sure why Igor feels that he needs to do that at this point, but he knows what he's doing, and he's certainly capable of getting a result in this race. So maybe Igor is just testing some of the legs to begin with, and putting some pain into some of his rivals. You know, one of the things about racing is everybody has, they talk about matches to burn. Everybody has a limited number of matches to burn, and the successful racers are the ones who burn their matches, but just have confidence that they've got one more than everybody else, and they're the ones who are going to come out best. And sometimes it's just a matter of pain. So we're seeing a little group at the back here that have broken away from the main group, which so we're seeing riders in about 50th and beyond here, who have broken back. So there we go, lovely split screen there from Damon. So we get a little group, a very dangerous little group forming up front. The bunch don't want to let these guys get away. John Beams, Nick Greenhalgh and Igor Kops. That is a group that would be putting the fear into the others. And sure enough, they have closed them down very quickly. Those three, there's Wout Hartveld there in the yellow, with the yellow jersey. He'll be relieved that the bunch swept away that little break, because that would be a very high quality break. A chapeau royale, meaning a break of very high quality riders. Here we got the zoom cam. So we've got two on zoom cam tonight. John Beams there. Saw him warming up earlier with his fleece on. He's obviously in his shed, which must be a bit cold, but he's paying attention and making sure nobody's going to get away. And Daniel Neugebauer, who is in the Southwood District. That's what the Southwood District Wheelers jersey looks like. Hey, Daniel, I don't know if you're listening to us, but if you are, and you can give us a wave, do. But there you go. If you see any of the people out in that jersey, and they have their jersey actually on screen as well, so the representation of that in RGT, along with many of the other great team jerseys that RGT has. And I often see the Southwood District Wheelers. They're a very popular, very well-supported club. I often see them out on my rides down in Sussex and Kent, and across in Surrey as well, which are my regular riding grounds. There we've got Jared Miller, the Aussie flag there. Igor Kops still putting out some power. There's a little rise here, so Igor's using this to put out some more high power. He's just cresting the top there, easing back a bit. I say easing back, 4.6 watts. That's for a lot of us, that's not easing back at all. So he's easing back a little bit there. Jared chasing him there. Wigforce, PD with the Russian flag, I think there. So they're chasing down, and Nick. So there's a little group trying to get onto the wheel of Igor there as we crossed over that little rise. And as you can see from the profile at the bottom of the screen there, there's a little sort of flat. We're at a -2% slope. Igor's got a bit of a gap here, 40 meters. And it'll be interesting to see what happens if Igor takes that into this next little rise. You can see the profile at the bottom of the screen there as the rain comes down in RGT, as it is in real life in south of England. He's just coming to the bottom of a nasty little, probably the steepest and most prolonged part of the course here. So Igor's got a 50-meter gap there. He's just past the incline side. So he's now going to start heading up. He's hitting 5%, 8%. And there his avatar gets out of the saddle. He's putting out 6-7 watts per kilo as we go up here. And if he can do that up to the top, he may crest it, and a 40-50 meter lead, if he's still got that, even 30 meters at the top, will very quickly turn into 100 meter or more lead as they start to flatten off. Unfortunately, there's not a descent on the other side. You've got a flat, little more rise, but then a long descent. So if you can take it into that, he'll be doing very well. So we're keeping an eye there on Igor. There's Christophe Contant, regular rider on RGT, often appears in these races. He's rooting for John Beams with the strong arm there. Absolutely, strong legs, really. But I don't think Facebook has a strong leg emoji. And come on, Daniel. Well, there you go, sharing his. He's rooting for the people who are on Zoom Cam. That's very good. That's great. If you're in any of these races and you want to appear on Zoom Cam, contact Damon on ZMS streams. And obviously you need to set up the camera and stuff, but it's great to see people on the Zoom cam. We love to see people suffering. So Igor's still out in front. He's extended that lead on that rise now to 70, 80 meters. As on the right of your screen, we see a bunch that's off the back there. Big Koala. I rode with Big Koala in one of the races last week. Big Koala, I think, is a woman with the Swiss flag there. And there's a group now in the sort of low 50s. They're just hitting that climb now. But they've got a nice little group of 7 or 8 riders there together. And hopefully they'll be able to keep each other going for this race, although it may split up on this climb. A couple of south, there's the South for Jersey on your right there, that red shoulders and yellow body. That's the South for Wheelers jersey in RGT, as well as in real life. Pino Ferro, how do I know which events we broadcast? Well, Pino, you go onto the ZMS Facebook page. Damon usually puts them also on the RGT user events page. So you're obviously on Facebook. Keep an eye on the list on Facebook, and Damon usually is very good at giving a forewarning of what's being broadcast. I mean, just generally, if there's a big event, Damon and ZMS will be doing them. Certainly all the echelon races is doing them. You can see crossing the ticker at the bottom there some of the events that ZMS is doing. The No Pin Super League, the echelon races, the Proximus series that's been on recently. I'm not sure if they're doing any of the e-Fondo races, but lots of, and Damon does so much stuff on RGT. So we'll go back to the action here at the beginning, at the head of the race, and wow, Igor has really pulled out. He's still doing over 500 watts per kilo, which is over 500 watts, over 6 watts per kilo. And he's turned that lead as we go across the top and hit another little rise here. He's turned that into 160, 180 meters. We've got a little group there chasing him. Just trying to work out how many people. So Jared Miller has a little bit of a gap. He's in the middle, the space there. A few people trying to get onto Jared's wheel. We've got a group of about, 6, 7 riders, plus Jared, who are trying to, come on, well, yes. Oh, Christoph, you're very encouraging, but I think you need to pick a horse, mate. So we've got a little group here, I think, of 7 or 8. What's going down to 8? So we've got 7 riders there, big names: Nick Greenhalgh, Wout Hartfeld, Wigfors, Kilimasevsky, John Beams, Jared Miller. So some strong names there who are chasing up. I see Keith Aitchison there at the head of the group that's just behind them, and Warren Gardner. So this is a strong group of poursuivants in French, or perseguidor in Spanish. Enric Mar, what's with Cops today? Seems angry. Yeah, absolutely. He is going for it, isn't he, Enric? He is absolutely caning this. I mean, he's eased off a little bit now, but that is a fantastic 250 meters. That lead just keeps going. Early on, he was testing them out, and really found them out on that rise. So now he's just got to keep this going down this bit of a slope, and then it becomes a bit lumpy towards the end with a steady uphill towards the finish. If he can keep going this way, he's going to do well. So what are we seeing here? So top left of your screen, we've got Igor out on his own in front. Top right, we've got the pursuers, the chase group of 7. Some big names there, and they're trying their best to limit their losses. At some point, if they don't limit their losses, they may decide, and we've got an overhead of them. Oh, okay, so we've got overheads, top of Igor, top left, and bottom right. Fantastic camera work here, Damon. It took me a while. And we've got top right, front on sort of moto view of the pursuing group, and a helicopter view, drone view. That's some great shots there. It's fantastic, the stuff that Damon can do with the views on RGT. Okay, back to our normal view now. The group needs to get organised. Indeed, they do, Brian. They do. We've got people. I mean, I see their weak force there, putting in some red numbers as he goes to the front. But yeah, they really do need to work steadily and not make each other go into the red. But they need to keep a very high tempo. And I mean, we're seeing that when they're not on the front, people are dropping back to 2-3 watts per kilo. They're not going to catch Eagle if they keep doing that. So there's Nick now trying to put a bit of urgency into the group. But yeah, they really need a strong group. Sorry, I missed that before I went on. I think that question was, are there any teams that get organised? Well, I mean, Nick is Ratio. Who else? I don't think there's sort of a multiple group in that pursuing group. I don't think there's any sort of team that's got multiple riders there who can put a couple on the front and sacrifice themselves for their leader. I mean, that's ideally what you want, isn't it? But I think they're all individuals. We are all individuals, and yeah, John is Peddlers. Who else is there? Yeah, Nick, Ratio. Well, I don't think Wout rides for a team. Well, I'm sure he does ride for a team, but I'm not sure. So yeah, Nick, Wout is Peddlers. So Wout and John are actually both the same team. So that's a little bit, tricky, isn't it? I mean, I guess they need to work for each other, but with them first and second, that could get difficult. We've got a, Bradley Wiggins, Chris Froome situation here. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out as we go forward. Are there any others? I'm just looking. So yeah, Nick is Ratio. Who else is in that group? Daniel is Peddlers, but he's not in this group. Who else is there? Here we're seeing Daniel and John now on Zoom camera. John looks comfortable, doesn't he? He doesn't look like he's suffering too much. Maybe he hides it well. That's always a good thing in races, but he looks like he's keeping it. But that lead of Eagle is not coming back. They're heading downwards now, so the lead, that 300 meters or so will diminish rapidly once they start heading up the hill. It's close to 400 meters now, but that's still a decent lead, and we're about halfway through the race. So 10 kilometers, and 10 kilometers, 10 remaining. So we are halfway through the race, and Eagle has a nearly 400 meter lead. It fluctuates. So we've still got this group of 7 riders chasing him. There's Igor, Team Lou. Igor is riding for. I don't think there are any Team Lou behind who are going to disrupt the chase, but I'll have another check when we look for the jerseys. It's a bit difficult. You can't. It's harder. It's easier in real life to do that sort of. There's Daniel, who we saw on the Zoom cams. He's doing well. He's in the third group on the. On the course. Another group of about looks like about 9 or 10 riders, slightly larger group, who didn't quite catch the gap to the riders in front. Maybe it's 130 or more. So up there we go. But nearly 200 meters to that chasing group. So they're not out of this yet. That's 200 meters with a slightly larger group. Mark there on his own must have got dropped from the chasing group there. That's about 300 meters ahead. He's in no man's land. Got no one to help him. Mark is a strong rider with Ratio Racing. Roy Neal there. The C, I presume is there we go. We've got some. I was just about to say the C means usually that he's in Masters C category, which is 50 to 54, as you see there. Height 1.82, weight 66 kilos. Well, lucky you, Roy. I wish I was 66 kilos. So he'll be making up some ground as we get to the climbs on this course, but probably not doing so well on the downhills because he won't have the outright power. Jones there, C. Jones with Dirt, Dad's Indoor Riding Trainers, if I remember correctly. Now another little group here of 5 or 6 riders. There's Aussie King. Wayne does a lot of racing, and he really is in Australia, and it really is, racing at some stupid time in the morning. I don't know how he does it. I ride sometimes in TTTs with the 3R team with Wayne, Evan Oystenson, who I also ride with in 3R. I don't know, I'm not sort of formally part of any team really, but I ride some of the TTTs that are organised on RGT with some guys from 3R. D Baggy there from SDW, so local there, South District Wheelers. He's one of the Southborough riders in this race. Pedley, and who's that? M. Schilling, and yep, David Baggy. Putting out. So they're coming up. They must be, yeah, they're on a 7% slope, 8% slope. So they're putting out quite a bit of power there. Wayne is a very strong rider. Schilling coming to the front there in the purple kit. They're up one of these short but sharp slopes. A little bit of distancing back to Evan, and who's that just behind Evan? Pedley. But if they push on over the top, they should be able to catch that wheel. Pedley might be 15, 16 meters, starting to lose the draft. There you see in the top left the stats of what he's actually getting. That's a bit of a gap now that he has to. Be interesting to see if he needs to put out some big power to get back on that wheel. It's growing and growing and growing. And with a group of 4 or 5 ahead, once you've lost that gap and you've lost the draft, it's really hard to get that back, and we're seeing it go out. And I think that is the ice breaking. That is the rubber band snapping for Pedley there. Bad luck. Just couldn't keep it over the top of that little rise. Going back to 28th, 29th now, we've got 2 riders together, Dulac and Walker with the Scottish flag. The Old Alliance, the French and the Scots together. And Dobson there, Brit in the middle. That's bit of 18th century geopolitics for you there. Kester Dobson, they're just coming there on a slight downhill, so -2%, so taking a bit of chance to get it easy, riding it to 200 to 300 watts, taking a little bit of recovery. So we come back now to this chase group. And it looks like, see, just in the background, you can see there. So Vigneux has bridged across from the 3rd group to this 2nd group. So that tells me that this 2nd group hasn't really been pushing it. They're probably not closed down. We'll check in a minute the gap to Igor Kops. But it tells me that they probably haven't been really pushing it. They're allowing Igor to go on. Igor is at 6 and these guys at 6.4. So still 400 meters or more gap. Vigneux has managed to bridge across, and when we saw the front on shot there, we saw the 3rd group not far in the background, and you can see there on your screen they're only 100 meters now with Warren Gardner, Fleming Bach, very strong rider from Denmark. So this 3rd group has managed to make up quite a lot of ground. They were at nearly 200 meters when we looked at them before, and they're coming back to nearly 100 meters. So there's Igor. The gap is stabilized. I mean, he was just under 400 meters earlier. He's over 400 meters now, but that's he's now coming to the start of this long, steady uphill that takes us to the finish in front. So that gap will look like it's coming down, but it's actually not coming down necessarily because they're catching him, but coming down just because they're still on slight downhill and he's going uphill. So the distance comes down very quickly. So once they start to hit the uphill, which it looks from the little dots at the bottom like they are, we'll get a sense of the real gap, which is just over 300 meters there. He's just hitting the incline sign for that little orange gradient that you see at the bottom of the screen there. So over 300 meters to the gap behind, and Igor was still putting out over 400 watts and seems to be doing it pretty consistently, steadying on 5 watts per kilo. Julian Fussell there. This climb will sort them. Come on, SDW. I guess Julian is an SDW rider or just supporting SDW, but thanks for that. Thanks for adding your voice, Julian. Yep, absolutely. The climb is the thing, isn't it? So 300 meters, it's absolutely doable. Bit over, just under 5 kilometers left, 300 meters. So they just need to take back 70 meters per kilometer. And, they could very cruelly catch him right at the end. But, the way Igor's been riding, I'm reluctant to bet against him. He has been riding so strongly. It doesn't look, like he's fading. He hasn't been trying to sort of get back a lot of power on the climbs. He's been pushing consistently, so he could well stay away. So we're seeing again here that 4-camera shot, Igor out in front on his own, and the gap now back to, still back to 400 meters. So he's still pulling out the gap as they head up here. And that second group, Hartveld has now made his way across to the second group, so that's good for him in terms of the series results. Sorry, he was in the group anyway. Sorry, what am I saying? Vinyu made it across. Don't think any other riders have made it across yet, but the gap to the third group is now only 70 meters. So I'm looking like that third group is going to catch them, and then we'll have a group of probably 17 or 18 riders. Yeah, Brian, we love breakaways. That's right. I mean, it's fantastic to see somebody just putting it on the line like that, and going for it the whole way. And he has been. I didn't make a note of what kilometer it was, but it was on that downhill, wasn't it, before the red? So it must have been what, 5 or 6 kilometers that he's been away from. So he's been away for more than half the race now, and he's got 3.7 kilometers to go. Keeping steady power. He's on the flat now, so minus 0.1, 0.6. So doing 350 watts. Heart rate 175, so still working. Heart rate going down a little. You can see his power profile there. He's just eased off a little bit as we got into that flat, which makes sense because you'll make more distance as we go. And now here we're seeing some action behind. So John Beams has taken matters into his own hands here. He's broken away from there. Now we're seeing the pain-faced John. That's the way. He's broken away from the chasing group that he's been with. He's decided he's had enough of that, and he's going for it. He's going to chase Igor or fail spectacularly in the attempt. That's what we like. You've got to leave. Don't want to leave it. You want to leave everything on the road, is what I'm trying to say. If you don't try, you'll never know. So John is really putting in some good power here. He's sitting steadily at sort of 4.5, 5 watts per kilo. John is an excellent climber, an excellent time trialer, so he knows how to pace himself. He knows how to keep the power steady and keep it going. He knows what he can do. I guarantee you, he's got 3 kilometers to go, just over 30 kilometers an hour, so that's about 5 to 6 minutes. And John will absolutely know what he's doing. 460 watts there. He knows what he can do to keep that, or whether he can keep that to the end. So he'll be sitting on a nice steady power, getting his recoveries where he can, pushing it on those orange and red bits, and making sure that he keeps it going right to the end. And he's going to give it the best shot to chase Igor at the front. And he's already got a 60-meter gap to the riders behind him. So Igor there, he's gone a little downhill now, so he's getting a little bit of recovery, easing off to 170, under 200 watts per kilo. So that's just spinning over for him as we come down. John still pushing away there, and you can see the numbers behind him there in red as the guys behind decide that they're going to also try and chase the group. And there's Daniel. He's in that third group, still trying to catch up with them. I can see the 3 figures there. So that group behind, I think Vinyu has dropped back to the other group after I'm sure he came across Keith Aitchison there in the third group. So Vinyu, maybe the effort of getting up to the second group, or did I get it wrong? But maybe the effort of getting up to that second group was too much for him, and he's dropped back to the third group. And that's gone out now back to 130 meters or so behind the second group. So they were very close. They were in touching distance of that second group, but it looks like for whatever reason, they've not managed to bridge the gap. The gap has gone back out, and this second group might be staying together, and that might be the one that comes to the line. So we've got our situation now. Igor Kops is way out in front. He's got a 400-meter gap that he's been holding for most of the last 13, 14 kilometers. John Beams, who was riding with this second group for quite a long time, maintaining that gap, has broken away, is trying to chase down Igor, made a bit of a dent, but not a huge one so far. and he's made only 50 or 60 meters on the chasing group. So they're now chasing him. John will be trying, if he doesn't catch Igor, at least to guarantee that he gets second place. It's always a bit of a lottery when you come to the line with a sprint. I'm not sure, I don't know, I may be speaking, I haven't seen John sprint, so I'm not sure what his sprint is like. Often if you aren't a great sprinter, if you're more of a time trialist and so on, then you might feel that your best chance is going for a long attack rather than taking the lottery of pushing it in the sprint. Certainly Nick has a very good sprint on him. Wout, I think, also has a good sprint. Certainly he was very good in the races we saw just before Christmas. So it looks like they're just catching. So John wasn't able to maintain that, and that group is going to catch John now at a difficult time. He's maybe got a little bit of a flat. I mean, what you want when a group catches, the worst thing when you get caught by a group like this after an attack is the sucker punch, where they catch you and then somebody puts in an attack because they know that you've made a big effort, and you just go straight out the back because you can't react to it. So John needs now to concentrate on getting a little bit of recovery. He's just sitting on the wheel there of PD. The others not quite catching them there, but John is sensibly sitting on the wheel. Some wide from Warren G's. He's out, not the lightest out there, I think is what Julian's going to be telling us there. So yeah, I think that's right. He's doing really well, isn't he? It does have the advantage of local knowledge though, doesn't he, Julian? But I'm sure Warren and you and all the South riders have ridden these roads many times. But yeah, that is a fantastic ride from Warren. He's managed to bridge to that group now. So these groups seem a bit fluid. So I'm pretty sure Warren was in the third group before, wasn't he? So he's managed to bridge up to this group. That is actually, you're right, Julian, that is a fantastic ride from Warren to get up to this group and be in contention now as they catch John and PD. So he'll be in contention for the podium spots and could well improve his 10th place, the leading South District Wheelers rider in the series so far. He's on 264 points and put it to the he's within sort of 10 points for 40 points the next 4 or 5 places, so he could move up quite a bit. So we're going to stick now, I think, with these two groups as we come to the finale. Oh, that was it. I missed that. I didn't realize that we were so close to I was looking at the profile on the bottom. So Igor has managed to keep it going. And now the group behind them, that caught me a bit by surprise. So Jared now is taking it. We've got 150 meters to go as we come to the finish. A little bit of rise, and that's flat. So whoever's got a bit of a distance over this rise will probably go to the line. I see Nick there, as I said, has a good sprint on him. He's going to take it to the line second. Jared right on his wheel. PD in 4th place. Klimaszewski in 5th. Warren, fantastic ride in 6th. And John, after that, all that effort, makes it into 7th place. And Joris Scheppers there in 8th. Hartveld was distanced a little on the rise into the finish, but he'll finish in a very good 9th place. And it looks like Keith has broken away. He's a very good climber. He's broken away on that rise to come just away from the group that he was with. He's got 10 meters, and he'll keep that going to the finish to stay in the top 10. So there's your results there. Vignew putting in a big effort as he crosses the line, but not quite enough to catch Keith. Here comes Dubray. So there's your top 10 there. So Copse, Greenhalgh, Miller, PD, Klimaszewski, Warren Gardner, top South District Wheelers, John Beams, Scheppers, Hartveld, and Keith Aitchison. There's Daniel. Well done. That's also a good ride from Daniel. A couple of Southborough riders there coming in 14th and 15th. Rob Miller there in 16th. He was in the top 10, 9th coming into this ride. So depending on what others have done, he may drop down a bit. And there's Fleming stealing past him there to take 16th place, just coming over that rise there. But Rob didn't have enough of momentum to keep Fleming away as they come to the line in 16th and Rob in 17th. Tim Cook there, so 2 3R riders in 17th and 18th place. Tim Cook there coming in, and he's got a nice little gap back to Mark Rowbottom and Schilling in 19th and 20th places. So yeah, that was a great, well, fantastic Igor. Yeah, apologies with the finish sort of took me a bit by surprise, but he was so far out in front, and we were concentrating on the chase behind, which was really exciting. I mean, you know, it's very exciting to see a rider be able to do that and stay out in front. That was a fantastic ride. He was away from very early on in the race. The gap never got more than about 400 meters. It was certainly doable with 3 kilometers to go, which seemed to go very fast. But they just never made a dent. So what was his gap? Was 33 seconds in the end. There's Evan crossing the line there. See Jones there, and the dirt jersey. Tom Moss there in 15th place. I missed him coming across the line. Also from Southborough District Wheelers. Here's King, Aussie King, in 25th place. And Dulac there, who we saw in one of the groups, but clearly found the going tough in the latter half of the race. So yeah, it was a fantastic ride from Igor. He just put it all out on the line. He tested them early on. He broke away. He committed to the break, and he kept it going. He never really sort of got away, but you know, in a sort of completely definitive way. But the group never really made a big dent and never sort of got within touching distance of him. And then the third group behind them also managed not to. They got close, but never quite managed to merge into a single big group. Here's Riley from Southborough District Wheelers. So we had a group of what was about 7 or 8 riders chasing Igor and crossing the line, but out of that, John Beams tried to make an attack, tried to catch Igor, couldn't catch Igor, and then in the end got caught by the group and didn't have quite enough at the end. I think John is I hope I'm not being unfair to him. I don't think John would back himself much as a sprinter, but I'd say he's a very good climber and time trialist. So we're getting down now to, where are we, 33rd and 34th place. Coverage is excellent. It is, isn't it, Julian? I mean, I hope that also includes the commentary, but the coverage is absolutely fantastic. This is just so pro level from Damon. The number of cameras, you know, if you ever see him post pictures of his setup, and I used to work in TV, and you know, when I see his setup, it's just like a studio. With you know, like the technical director's desk in a studio. It's a fantastic setup. Very good. Oh yeah, it was a great night, wasn't it? These races are fantastic. So we're coming down now. Simon Miller there, who I think Simon organises the races. So big chapeau to Simon for organising the races on behalf of Southborough District Wheelers, which you know, in real life is also a very successful popular club, and they've done a lot during the lockdowns and so on to build groups of riders and get people riding, which has been very popular during some of the recent events. So we've got we're seeing coming down now, crossing the line to the top 40, but you're seeing on the screen now down to the top 27 to Kester Dobson as Costa there with British flag crosses the line, and we'll stick with these as they come across, so everybody gets their few seconds of ZMS fame. So yeah, just looking again at the gaps there, so it's 33 seconds. We had a group of 6 crossing fairly close to one another, well, and then Shepherd's and Hartveld, who just tailed off a little bit at the end. So it was really a group of 8 that stayed pretty much together to the end, and then you see Keith, Vigneault, together, and that other little group, Dubray, Tobin, Neugebauer, Moss, who were in that third group on the road, but that never quite managed to, that chased, but never quite managed to get back in touch with the second group. There's B. Koala there, one of the women riding tonight with the Swiss flag, which reminds me of the only joke about Switzerland that I know is, you know, don't know what it's like to live in Switzerland, but their flag is a big plus. So where are we now? I mean, and that's very nice of you, Julian. Thank you. That's very kind. So we're getting down to the 50s now. What a great turnout. How many riders are still, what have we got, 80? I can't see my screen, and the pixelation is I've got many things going on my screen here, but great turnout. There's Ward, it's great to see so many Southborough riders doing their own event. I did actually try, to be fair, to get some of the Dulwich riders to do this, because it is based on a Dulwich race, and we often ride down here, but there's a few riders who do, a few Dulwich riders who do RGT, most famously Carolyn. If you've ever seen the bot Caroline, I'm not sure if she's still there now that they've changed the bots, but the Caroline bot that was there and the Yarn bot that was there was named after Caroline Reuter, who rides Dulwich Paragon, who is a very, very good women's vet, like national level women's vet cyclocross rider, and she won the RGT Tour de France event in the first lockdown last year, and so they named a bot after her. So she's one of the Dulwich riders who are on RGT, but sadly a lot of them still don't seem to be able to get it. It's great to see so many South District Wheelers riders on RGT and supporting their own event. So there's looks like another women rider there from the shape of the avatar. Wonder Wheels, great name there, riding for OTR. OTR, of course, put on also a lot of great events. They have the Tour du Monde is starting. That was last year. And there's another women rider, El Hearn there, W after her name. So good also to see some of the women turning out to ride these events. Yeah, OTR Tour du Monde starts next. Oh, pipped him on the line there. Well done, Maker. Never give up, even if it is for 61st place. I like that. Yeah, Tour du Monde starts. It's, if I remember correctly, and I haven't got it in front of me, so Jim Ogilvy can hit me later if he likes, but it's 12 rides, I think, 12 rides all around the world, hence the name, Tour du Monde. And you have to do each one of them, and I think placing depends on the top 3 riders and the cumulative times, cumulative times over the 12 rides. It was a very, very popular event last year. I know it got a lot of people into RGT, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to it this year. So that kicks off soon. We've got some other great events coming up over the next 2 weeks. The eFondo event starts this weekend, I believe. It's a US-based event, and of course the Echelon series is still going. So here's Dee Grant, another South District Wheelers rider. What a great turnout. Really good to see so many people from Southborough coming out. I mean, I just say in real life you see a lot of them too. They are one of the more popular clubs in the southeast, as is my club, Dulwich. We have something like 400 members mostly. There's Moss and Hurst. Also, yeah. Oh, he did not quite make it across. No, Hurst managed to get across just ahead of Moss there. He tried to roll him on the line, but it didn't quite pay off. But good effort there. Barter there with a Swedish flag. Another women rider, judging from the avatar in the South District Wheelers kit. Julia Barter, Julia, I guess, if she is in fact Swedish. Crossing the line there in 68th place. There are categories, I haven't got them in front of you, there are categories in the Friday Frenzy series. There are team categories, there are categories for masters, and I believe there are categories also for women. But check on rgtdb.com. There is a whole bunch of, well, the results are all up there. In the different categories. Obviously we've been concentrating on the individuals, but there are lots of other events as we go. In fact, if you just hold on, I will tell you exactly what they have. Yeah, no I won't, because I can't. Anyway, oh, here we go. Yeah, there's women, there's over 45s, there's youth under 16, and of course the individuals, and there's a team prize as well, and there are prizes. I say prize, there is a prize. for a South District Wheelers Callis jersey, like a proper, real life jersey. And there are other prizes as well. So yeah, real life prizes for virtual racing, which we love to see. We're down now to 70th place with N. Jackson. I'm going to take a punt at Nick, but you never know. Linda with the Aussie flag. Linda organises quite a lot of events recently, the Kings and Queens events. Linda there in the OTR jersey does a lot of events with Aussie King, who you saw earlier. Linda put on over Christmas a sort of 100-kilometre ride every day, which was quite popular, especially for anyone trying to do the festive 500. And does quite a lot of endurance events, long distance events. So look out for those in the RGT app or on RGTDB if you're looking for some great group rides. D. Leiden there. Wow, I'm not sure what that flag is. So that's a new one. My son would be able to tell me what that flag is. I'm going to take a punt at a specific nation, but no, they usually have the British Union Jack in their flag, but who knows? I'll have to look that up afterwards, what that flag is. What is it? It's a star in the top left and a yellow bar across. If anyone knows that, give us a shout on Facebook. And I will, in the meantime, consult my son, who has sort of one of these strange memories for flags. So leading there, still got a few people out on course. It looks like these are the last 3 or 4 who are actually going to finish. Some of the riders maybe saw the Wigforce there in 78th, who was in, maybe had a technical problem. He was in that second group, wasn't he? Yeah, didn't see him at the end, and his avatar is 4 kilometers back. So maybe he had an unfortunate technical issue, which would be such a shame after working so hard to be in that second group. So we've got, yeah, we'll just follow these few more riders as they cross the line. Yeah, Davis there in 77th looks like he's going to keep going, and well done. I love to see that, people just plugging away, but we probably won't wait around for the 4 kilometers that Davis has, or Wigforce. Yeah, there's Wigforce in 78th. He's stopped, but Davis is only a couple of 100 meters ahead of him, so he's still got quite a way to go, but well done. Chapeau to Davis for plugging away. Here's Elizabeth with the Swiss flag about to cross the line soon. Yes, go on. 4 watts per kilo. Put in an effort. That's it. You've always got to put in an effort as you cross the line. Wave to the spectators. It doesn't matter how far back you are, and she'll just coast across the line. And then we've just got 2 more riders, I think, that will follow in Dusan and Ashland. So Dusan there, if I'm spotting that correctly, is a Serbian flag. Apologies if the resolution is if it's Slovakian or Slovenian, and I've got it wrong, but I think it is. So there we go, Leiden there, down to 73rd place in our Linda, yeah, Doug Leiden, and Dusan here in 75th. And then we'll just have Ashland, who is only 100 meters behind Dusan here. There's Ashland, yep, women rider there. And I love that kit, that multicolored kit. I'm not sure which one that is. I'll have to look that up, but I have seen it around. I really like that. It's very good. I've always been a big fan of the famous Mondrian kit. So that's your top. There we go. Back to our top results there as Ashland crosses the line, and we'll start wrapping up the coverage now. So there's your results. Igor Kops takes a great win ahead of Nick Greenhalgh and Jared Miller. That will certainly bump Nick Greenhalgh up. He was in 3rd place coming into this, so he'll do very well. He'll pick up some points, and I think jump ahead of John Beams, and probably ahead of Wout Hartfeld as well. Igor, I don't think has done many, if any, of the races. So in terms of overall ranking, it won't make much difference, but well done to him. Maybe he can pick up. Pete D in 4th place there. Lukas Klimaszewski in 5th. Warren Gardner, top South District Wheelers. Fantastic ride from Warren. John Beams in 7th. Joris Scheppers and Wout Hartveld round out the top 9, and that was the chasing group. And then Keith pounced from behind, pipping Joel Vigneault, and managing to get the top 10 ahead of Joel, who were in that third group chasing line, which also featured our Zoom camera, other one apart from John Beams, Daniel Nogebauer from South District Wheelers. So they're your top riders. This, as I mentioned at the beginning, was round 6. Next week is an ITT on the Tonbridge Bypass. Isn't that a romantic, conjure up romantic images to you? The Tonbridge Bypass, which I have actually ridden. And yeah, it is about as romantic as it sounds. But anyone who's time traveled in the UK knows that it's often a matter of riding on dual carriageways and roads that aren't exactly scenic, but that makes for fast times. So at the same time next week, we'll be going to Tonbridge Bypass for it's just over 16 kilometres TT, which in UK TTs is 10 miles. We do our TTs in miles here, and Club 10 is a classic. During summer, most clubs in the UK run during the week a Club 10 one weekday evening where people turn up and just knock out a 10 mile. And you usually be a good time in a 10, depends on the terrain obviously, but if you can hit 20-21 minutes in a 10, you'll be right up there. So it should be fast times. John, I'm sure, will be looking forward to that next week to show his time trial ability. And then there'll be, so this is round 6, that will be round 7, and there'll be 3 more to go after that until we get the final. There's also in the same, there's one at Forest Row, one at Cycle Park, and finally a point-to-point from Tonbridge to Toys Hill. Oh yes, Toys Hill, that's going to be a nice one. I know Toys Hill very well. It's not nice. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for all those who took part and posted comments. Love to see the comments on Facebook. So keep that coming if you're watching the ZMS live streams. Keep watching on the ZMS page, or keep looking on the ZMS page to see all the other great coverage that's coming up. It's peak time on RGT. There's so many great events coming up over the next weeks and months as we're in the winter indoor training season, and ZMS will be doing their best and doing an amazing job bringing so many of them to you. So thanks for joining us. Look out for more events, and hope to see you again soon. Have a great weekend.